C.J. Stroud. Not only had the best game by rookie quarterback, I saw somewhere that he might be a top 15 quarterback. He was a top 15 quarterback coming into this game. This dude went absolutely crazy. This game was so much fun to watch. I didn't know what to make of the Buccaneers. I thought the Texans were better than they were last week when they lost to the Carolina Panthers. This game ended in completely crazy fashion. Shout out to Baker Mayfield for that fantastic throw down the seam to Cade Otton to put them up. But you can't leave C.J. Stroud 46 seconds. He drove down the field, hit Tank Dell on a huge bomb down the left side, then threw a post pattern to Tank Dell in the end zone to get the win there. Fun. The kicker got hurt breach, so Dare Ogunbowale had to kick off, and he actually kicked a field goal, and we'll talk about that in a little bit because I know that was probably the highlight of your weekend, even more so than
my year.
What the Bengals did. So, Brinson, I'll ask you, what are we to make of this C.J. Stroud thing? Because it's been fun to watch throughout, but this took things to another level. 30 of 42, 470 yards, 5 touchdowns. Of course, no interceptions because he refuses to throw interceptions. And look, Tank Dell's their dude. Dalton Schultz is getting more involved. But Noah Brown, formerly the Cowboys, now healthy, 6 catches, 153. They are hitting all cylinders in a division where the Jaguars are the best team. But, I mean, look, they're going to make a push. If you're going to ask me who's better, this team or the Steelers, who are 5-3, they beat the Steelers. It's not even close. They're going to beat the Steelers 7.5 times out of 10, in my opinion.
16 catches, 283 yards, and 2 touchdowns from former Cowboys signed by the Texans in free agency between Noah Brown and Dalton Schultz in this game. So I think that speaks to kind of what Houston's done. I'm not going to, don't want to get too deep into the comparison because I know we're going to talk about Frank Reich and the Colts and the Panthers and the Colts later. But man, if you don't think that the Panthers, like the text threads, like that I'm on with my friends who are Panthers fans, weren't pointing out the direct juxtaposition of Bryce Young with multiple pick sixes and C.J. Stroud breaking the rookie record for passing yards while throwing 5 passing touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Well, it's kind of hard to ignore. And I think part of it, you look at the players around him, like Noah Brown, Tank Dell, and Dalton Schultz all had over 100 yards. They obviously won somebody $1 million on DraftKings. The offensive line for the Texans is like a plus. It is, even with all the injuries that they've dealt with, and CJ Stroud is just playing incredible football. Every week it looks like he's playing Georgia in the college football playoff, and he's like putting the Texans on his back and trying to win these games. Was it Brown, or it was Noah Brown in the right corner of the end zone, right? That he hit on that, or was it Tank Dell? Whatever, the one throw we had where he's like sort of like rolls out right a little bit and then like is like kind of pumps a touch and then just cuts it loose into the tiniest window. I mean, you were watching it live and just like, holy hell, what a throw. It's beyond impressive. And I didn't love CJ Stroud coming out, and that was wrong.
That was what?
Wrong. Very wrong.
Yeah. No,
well, I feel like a lot of people were real. Remember the S2 scores? Everyone piled on CJ Stroud trying to get him to drop, and then boom, now he's just crushing.
Oh yeah. By the way, bad. Yeah. My buddy Newman pointed out to me, he's like, somebody needs to talk to them about the S2 scores. Remember, Bryce Young like broke the record for the S2 score, and CJ
S2
Stroud
system apparently doesn't work.
Yeah, not great.
So a couple things about the S2 score. Teams knew about that, like as soon as the score was taken, which was back in late January. So that wasn't a surprise. The fact that it came out was incredibly annoying. The other thing, and Rick Spillman's talked about this on the Draft podcast, is that, and I've talked to scouts that have told me the same thing. You don't know when he took the test. It could have been after a long day of working out, going to interviews, having dinner, whatever. It could be any number of things. So it doesn't necessarily indicate anything. And also, like a bad score, like under ideal conditions, apparently is worse than is more indicative of what future holds than a good score. So the fact that Bryce got 100 on his test may not mean much in this regard. The other thing I'll mention, I've talked about this before, but just so we're clear, Texans were going to take Bryce Young at 2 if he were there. So they got bailed out by what everyone thought, myself included, was Bryce Young being the best quarterback. He is having some struggles, and it is not fun to watch. Hopefully he gets better because I like Bryce, but ooh, Lord have mercy. But shout out to CJ, man. That's been fun to watch. Good for him. And you talk about the playmakers, like CJ's lifting these dudes. Like Nico Collins was just a dude before CJ showed up. Dalton Schultz was good, but he struggled early on just as they were trying to figure each other out. But that's certainly come along. And I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that Baker Mayfield actually is still, like, he finds ways to to be competitive. I give him credit for playing as well as he did in that game. They should have won.
I just want to say real quick that
Yeah.
I literally spent the entire second half thinking in my head, how did this team only score 13 points against the Panthers last week?
Right?
And the fact that Stroud, I mean, he did most of this in the second half, 325 yards, 4 touchdowns just in the second half alone. I mean, that's absolutely insane. And I mean, man, if you're the Panthers, just how do you feel right now watching CJ Stroud dice people up when your QB's out there throwing multiple pick sixes and what?
Especially allegedly, like, I don't know that how much of it is true, but like Frank, there's all the rumors that Frank Reich and that coaching staff loves CJ Stroud, and then Tepper and maybe Tepper's wife jumped in on it. And on the playmakers, just really quickly, like, I guess what I'm saying is not so much that like Nico and Dalton Schultz and Tank Dell and Noah Brown are like incredible playmakers. Just that it's all like guys under 30 who have a chance to beat you downfield, who can make some plays for you. Whereas like with the Panthers, it's Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, and Hayden Hurst. It's a much dustier group of guys surrounding Bryce Young, plus a terrible offensive line.
All right, Donka for that. Guten Tag for.
Wait, yes or no? Can the Texans make the playoffs?
Yes.
What?
I'm all in on CJ.
Actually,
no. You already said yes, Prince. It's over.
Yeah, you only get a one.
There was no actuallys involved. It was yes or no.
Yeah, Oscar.